Well, here it is. We just wrapped up practice at the James River, getting ready for BPT event number 6. Is that right? Number 6. Wow, it seems like the season just got started and we're almost towards the end of it. So hard to believe, but we're here at the James River, and the James River for me is one from a long time ago. I mean, I don't have a lot of history here, but what I remember about this place was I think it was my first season as a pro back when it was the top 100s, I believe. It was 1996. And another young guy named David Dudley actually won the tournament. So, but you talk about 1996, I was definitely a kid out of my element. First time I'd come and fished a tidal river like this. And back then, those were the days when if you caught 10 to 12 pounds a day, you did really well. If I remember right, I think Dudley won the 4-day event with like 13 pounds a day. So definitely a different time back then. Fast forward to 2024, I think I fished one other WCF event here where we only fished on the James River one of those 3 days. So I don't, like I said, don't have a lot of experience here, and that's okay because we've had 3 days of practice and did my homework, watched a lot of the past events, on live and luckily working with Wesley and my other buddies, comparing notes and getting an idea. It's been an interesting 3 days. It's June, almost July. It's unbelievably hot. And, with that being said, the fishing's really good, though. I've been really surprised how the 3 days have panned out. And hey, before I get into that, I got to say thank you to Jason Holder for being our host this week. Because as you can see, I'm inside right now. It's air conditioned. I'm in a well-lit shop. He's a friend of Wesley's, and we've got Wesley's boat back here and Jason's boat back there. So we're in an air-conditioned shop. Got my boat and truck in here, great light and air conditioning, no bugs. And what an awesome place to work on my tackle. I mean, boat's a mess and everything. But okay, so back to practice. Thank you again for Jason for having us here. And practice was the first day I actually put in at takeoff and did a lot of boat riding. I think the first 2 hours I barely even made a cast. But just wanted to look around, kind of refresh my memory, see what was here, and get an idea for where I wanted to fish. But I'd already kind of made up my mind. I was going to try to focus my tournament around the Chickahominy. And the Chickahominy, from what the homework I've been told or done is, I don't know if it was 10, 15 years ago, the fishing was terrible here. And the locals got with the state and they started stocking Florida strains or F1s into the Chickahominy, and this place just took off. And that's what's caused the fishing here to just take off and become an exceptional fishery. So that's where I committed or said I was going to focus on the Chickahominy. The other good thing about this place, the good and the bad about this place is it's a tidal fishery, but the good thing is the way the tides are playing out, we should have really good tides for our event. So it looks like tomorrow I'm in Group A. We're going to be about 2 hours of the falling tide to start our morning, and then we'll have that slack tide, which slack tide's never that good, and then we'll have an incoming tide for the second half of the day. So we're not going to have the real high tide. If there was one part of practice where I struggled, it was definitely high tide because it scatters the fish out. When the tide comes down, everything concentrates. It gets a lot easier to decide where the fish are, or the fish are more concentrated. They're a little easier to catch. When it comes up almost 3 foot higher. It really spreads the fish out. So in practice, hard to believe, caught quite a few on a chatterbait. But with that being said, I mean, this is a shallow water fisherman's dream. I mean, I caught a lot of fish on a lot of shallow water baits. Caught some on a square bill, the old balsa crankbait. Balsa crankbaits on laydowns. There's a lot of laydowns here in cypress trees. I forgot it's a great summertime bait. Caught some on that. What else did I catch them on?
Everything.
A frog, caught a lot on a frog, a buzz bait, a little jig, a finesse jig. And I'm saying this because none of my competitors can watch it until the event's over with. Once it's, if it's information pertaining to our BPT event, my competitors can't watch it. So if you're one of my competitors, you better turn it off. But so day one was decent, kind of got an idea of where I wanted to fish. Day 2, I decided I was going to stay in that area and really, expand on it, but stay in the same area, and got down and really found what I'm hoping to be something special. Caught quite a few on those same baits. I think I hit the tide right and found some really sweet looking spots where I had a fair amount of bites in the short period, but I didn't fish them very hard. So if I can get that timing right tomorrow on the tournament, it could be a really, really good day.
That's where the old school square bill catches them when they don't want to bite. It gets that reaction strike out of them. Those fish are sitting on those laydowns and not really feeding because it's completely low tide, but a lot of times you can burn that square bill by them and get a few extra bites.
For the 3rd day of practice, it's a short day. We can only fish till 2 o'clock. But so I've basically got 2 parts of the Chickahominy where I'm going to focus. And I spent that 3rd day just really kind of dialing it in, playing with some other techniques. Caught some today on a jerk bait, looking at the live scope, some on a drop shot. I know that's going to be a big player here. Caught some on a pop-R, plopper. So it's just, the biggest thing for me is I'm going to have about 12 rods on the deck, and I'm just going to go fishing. I'm going to go to those 2 areas. And I think that's how you have to approach this, especially being every fish counts. If it was a 5-fish deal, I'd probably just stick a chatterbait in my hand or some kind of topwater and really just focus on 5 fish. But, with every fish counts, we have a 1 pound, 8 ounce minimum. So I might be able to go up and catch some really nice fish up, on this little creek on topwater, but then I may be able to back out and get out in the deeper stuff and catch some on a jerkbait and a drop shot. So I'm going to just try to be as efficient as I can on the water and make the most out of the day. So, we always try to predict weights for these deals and how much weight it's going to take for these events. And honestly, I couldn't tell you. I am, between talking to Wesley and Randy and Alton, Alton made a prediction to me at our meeting earlier. He said it'll take 48 pounds to get a check, so 24 pounds a day to get a check. And he thought 60 pounds to make the knockout round, so 30 pounds a day. So to me, my gut tells me that's a little light just from what I saw in practice, but I hope he's right. So, like I said, I think it's going to take a little more than that, but I don't know. We always say it's going to take more, but, these fish have been beat up for 3 days of practice, and then they're going to start, where everybody was scattered out 3 days of practice. Tomorrow, starting competition, everybody's going to be on that good stuff. So I don't know what that'll do to the pressure or not, but I'm just going to go out and try to make the most out of every period. I try to give myself goals, and my goals tomorrow in competition is just to catch as many fish as I possibly can, because I really don't know if it's going to take 3 or 4 scorables a period or 10 scorables a period. So I'm just going to go out, fish as hard as I possibly can tomorrow. I'm going to catch every single fish I can, hopefully get my weight up there as high as possible. And then we'll worry about day 2 when day 2 comes around. So it's going to be a neat one. It's like I said, with the tides and with the amount of fish that this place has in it, we might see some phenomenal catches, or we might just be surprised and go, well, it's, typical ebbs and flows. And if you watch Score Tracker, you're going to see that. You're going to see periods where guys just catch fish like every other cast for maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then they might go a whole period without catching one. It's just crazy how you can be around fish and know they're there and they bite like they do. And then there's periods where you would swear there's not a fish swimming there. So like I said, I've got a lot of rods to do up. I'm probably going to have more rods done up for this event than I usually would, just because of the tidal fishery. I'm going to have stuff for when the tide's low, stuff for when the tide's high, stuff for shallow, and stuff for deep. So, I don't want to get myself locked into anything. Obviously, if I can just go throw my chatterbait, maybe the square bill, and do what I really, what my strengths are, I'll definitely stick with that. But I've got a plan for A, B, and C, and go out and make the most of it. So it's going to be an interesting event. It's going to be a hot event, but it's going to be a good one. There's going to be a lot of fish caught, and I'm hoping I'm well above that cut line after tomorrow and can make the next round easy. But it's going to be a crazy week. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.